Hi everyone, I'm Airier, and today we're going to be looking at TexTalks, BattleTech, the Marauder. Now, we're on part 5, but how many Marauders are there really? The answer, yes. There are so many yes to this yes that we are going to be probably having a lot of fun because there's so many variants. I'm going to be taking a few hints of what I should probably get, maybe a custom model, because that's a thing people do because the Marauder is so popular. There's plenty of people just making their own models that are really well crafted, and just... I might have spent a little too much time on eBay looking up custom models for BattleTech because it's actually got a really good selection. And that's not even going into how crazy good the Catalyst game models are, or some of the old Iron Winds ones, which are really heavy in metal, but at the same time, they're kind of cool. And just, I don't have an addiction. There's no addiction to BattleTech here. Nope, nothing like that at all. Yep. Yeah. Otherwise, you guys know the deal. There's a link below to the original video. Hit it up. And when you're done, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what I missed, because it's me. I'm aware. Yeah. Let's get started.
To say they're variants of the Marauder is like saying they're variations of color, toppings for pizza,
I don't think so.
Or degrees of Capellan treachery. I think that by going over...
You know what? I don't actually recognize this Marauder variant. Is this the one that... No, because it's... Normally the Marauder has the level of the legs and the arms equal, but this one still has more of a torso design, where the normal one is more of a disc design. Huh. I actually really like the cockpit design. It looks cool. And it's less exposed than normal. Normally, if you flank a Marauder, you got a lot of room to shoot the torso.
For a few of the main production models out there.
No, they are all slightly different.
Possibly understand how versatile
Holy
this
shit.
system truly is. As well, I feel strongly
personal
that
favorite.
A historian can easily track the changing fortunes of each great house, using the Marauder as a yardstick for precisely this measure.
How so?
For the Marauder serves as an interesting arms race.
Better and worse versions?
Its own various refit programs, as the access to technology and industrial base waxes and wanes. The earliest Marauders were the 1R model.
Yeah, I've been told that these are not just the earliest one, but these are the hidden variations that they had the kerfuffle over copyright with. And god damn, they look weird. Granted, considering it's from BattleTech, it actually fits that. Not BattleTech. I think it was Macross. Not whatever became of, what was it? I have it literally right behind me. I forgot the name. Robotech. But actual Macross, the first season that became the beginning of it. It does fit that aesthetic a lot better. I like how they changed it.
MAD-1R was such a technological leap forward that it was chosen for the SLDF Royal Divisions and nobody else.
This looks so weird, though.
That's right.
Like chicken walkers with big arms.
The MAD-1R was such a badass piece of game-changing technology that it had a state monopoly for the SLDF.
Yeah, obviously, literally bought out the
and nobody
line.
else by governmental decree. You could not possess one. It was against the law. GM was only too happy to supply this exclusivity for a price and ensure the MAD-1R had the finest upgrades possible.
Not
the
a bad
1R had ferrofibrous armor
heatsinks
and case for its autocannon. In addition,
I just noticed right down here they wrote SLDF's first crush. It's accurate, but I didn't even notice that. Oh my god.
To some remarkable paint jobs. This was replaced and upgraded by the MAD-2R in 2760.
Still using an AC5.
After the invention of the ERPPC. The 2R got double heat sinks to accommodate.
You know, I just realized the biggest difference here is I was expecting that to be something of a higher caliber, but it's only an AC5. I guess maybe the torso in the earlier versions are just smaller, but the legs are huge.
Whatever changed how they've moved. And the 2R to me stands as a good example of a midlife refit program offered by GM to ensure StarLeague continued to support their products. And this is where things get interesting.
Wait, it was a refit?
Because the Taurian Concordat got their hands on some Royal Marauders as part of their let's make Capellans dead strategic defense policies.
Which the StarLeague may or may not have been like, oh no, they got it. How horrible. Is it the case? No. But would it possibly be the case? Maybe. The Marauder officers get.
The MAD-2T
getting closer to what we're used to now.
That replaces the AC5 with an LB5X.
Oh.
This is likely hand in hand with the Taurian proclivity to shoot shotguns at people who won't get off their property and go back the way they came.
Going full Louisiana in space. Also, I guess the hallmark of the older style Marauders is the gun on the top is way more prominent as a separate feature, like with that little mounting bit right here. I guess that's how it works out. I've seen the various models. I thought it was just like some kind of weird design choice that they kind of took out of production, but no, apparently it's all still canon, which it's BattleTech. Nothing ever uncanon except for the parts that you're not entirely sure about. We're going to ignore those.
That or it exists as an option to plow infantry and light vehicle waves off of whatever planet the Capellans just tried to claim.
16 double heat sinks.
3D was a Davion design that curiously did away with the ammunition dependencies of an autocannon system, opting to replace it instead with a large laser and adding heats.
I mean, on the one hand, 2 mini lasers, a large laser, and 2 PPCs. That's not bad. 11 tons of ferrofibrous armor, a 300 engine, long range, light show, pilot oven. Yeah, because those are 20 regular heat sinks, not doubles, which the previous one, oddly enough the Taurians had, was doubles. Huh. Granted, I usually pick it out this way so it doesn't have any ammo.
A venerable design made ammunition independent. This variant is quite popular in places where regular resupply or extended operations require one to be self-sufficient for extended periods. The MAD-3L is a Capellan refit.
Dude. The pieces stripped down to show you, but because we have the wires hanging, you know this isn't just a diagram set. This is actually the version that has it just suspended in such a way that you can see all the innards. Oh, I'm sorry. I love cutouts like this. I'm not sure this is actually one, but it could just be the armor stripped away to show what's there, and it makes me think this is actually a stripped down version that's missing the armor, not just showing what would be under it because of the hanging wires. But I love the design. Also, that cockpit. Yeah, that is a thing. Wow. That is a really weird design. This has to be one of the older ones.
Fit from 2905. Plagued with shortages and everything from food to competent leadership.
Of course, Capellan, yes.
The Capellans address material shortages and a distinct lack of reliable PPCs by removing one. The MAD-3L is a bit of a Franken-Mech. It has 1 PPC, it has 1 large laser, and more heat.
Intended use. Mech equipped in the literal aftermath of a hangar closeout sale. You know, he did mention that how good the Marauder is shows how good the company or the house is doing, and this is definitely the one you have when you got nothing else.
It sings, but not better ones. It's also sad because Capellans made it. Moving on, the MAD-3M is a Free Worlds League refit from the end of the 29th century. It removes PPCs and replaces them with large lasers and heat sinks.
I'm going to be completely honest, I've only ever really used large lasers and PPCs in the Hairbrain Schemes BattleTech and Mechwarrior 5, and large lasers just seem to be a better choice every time. Because PPCs shoot slower and they can hit you at close range and do some damage, if you can even fire them. Yeah, personal opinion. Again, I haven't played on tabletop or lore as much, so I'm not quite up to why they're supposed to be better or not. I don't know. But I like this loadout just because 2 medium lasers, 2 large lasers, and an AC-5. Oh, dude. Has most of the good stuff. 20 heat sinks and case ammo. Granted, I mean, personally, I would just put in double heat sinks instead of the 20 regular heat sinks, but this is probably from the time period where that's not actually a thing you could do. No, wait, this is still SLDF era if I'm right. Oh, maybe it was possible.
It's tremendously heat effective and probably one of the smartest refits from that era. Replacing complex systems with simpler equipment also means less downtime.
Yep. That's what it means by rapid redeployment.
As a noted producer of large lasers, the Free Worlds League decided to bring glory to Merrick by homebrewing logistics chain solutions and, of course, showcasing their own fine products.
Oh, they actually did it smart.
The MAD-5D was a refit of Marauders that survived the Succession Wars.
This is the one I think we can actually find in Mechwarrior 5 at the beginning. If you're lucky enough to get a Marauder at the beginning. I wasn't. Granted, I got a Warhammer, so it's fine. This is fancy, though. Holy hell. 14 tons of armor, a GM XL 300, And that's why you could fit a 1 large pulse laser, 2 ERPPCs, 2 medium pulse lasers, 1 streak SRM, 16 double heat sinks, case and jump jets. Well-rounded, a government issue, yup. Oh, God. And this is pretty much closer to what we're actually used to with the very forward-sticking bulge for the central torso. God
Using
damn.
LostTech, this is the closest thing you'll see to what Star League had likely intended for the design.
Wait,
had
intended?
It not burned in the wake of Amaris. It had ERP.
Intended implies that they had something they were working on. Please tell me Tex is going over a prototype they only made one of that is like the ungodly Marauder. I don't care if it's real or not. We'll probably get closer enough in the clans, but I just want to see that's the thing, please. We did it with a few other variants. I want to see it here too.
PPCs, a cutting-edge General Motors extra light fusion power plant, pulse lasers, case, jump jets, 16 double heat sinks, 14 tons of armor, and virtually every possible refinement. It brought Marauders into a new generation of warfare.
Into the
this
fuck
time
you up
to do
with
battle
this
against the clans, who probably wondered why the Inner Sphere was using upgun museum pieces on them, before making the realization that antiques can still be painful. The Free Worlds League upgraded their 3 M Marauders in the MAD-5M, and
you know what I said about the double heat sinks? 2 large pulse lasers, 2 medium pulse lasers, 16 double heat sinks, case and jump. This is literally how I would run this. Also, it has an LBX-10. Oh. That's actually just a really nice design. And now we have the classic Marauder design. Just with the cannon still being very large on the top rather than side-mounted. Don't know when that started becoming a thing. Still, just... This is the design I'm probably the most used to overall when it comes to Marauders, and this is such a pretty design. Oh, God, man. I like it as the design philosophies progress of how you draw Marauders. It's a personal opinion.
Pressed as much recovered Star League LostTech into the design as possible. They made a fusion of their original refit concept in the...
Proof the Free World League has some nice things. It's accurate. I'm weird about the Free Worlds League. Ever since Tex did the video about the various Inner Series factions, I kind of like the Free World League. I end up fighting against them in every single game, but I kind of actually want to be on their side. It just never works out that way.
The latest in
the Free World League fighting against the Free World League is pretty normal.
And as such, it is an interesting approach. Up-armored, with an XL engine and pulse lasers plus an LB-10X autocannon.
Yeah.
It marks a distinctive development of the Marauder for a new generation of warfare. Further,
fuck you
it was
generation.
enhanced with 16 double heat sinks and jump capability mirroring the Marauder MAD-5D. With the 5M, the Free Worlds League had a frontline mech that allowed them next-generational combat platforms while holding on to existing stocks of aging mechs. The Capellans were not content to simply leave the Marauders with one refit, and accordingly modified theirs further with the MAD.
Heavy stealth armor? The fuck? Triple strength mortars. Oh, Guardian ECM. Tracking system? Large lasers. ER large lasers. ER medium lasers. Double heats. 18. ER PPC. I don't know what a Rawlings is. The stealth armor I don't know about, but this is, I don't want to say the Capellans did a good job. Special ops. 75-ton laser ninja. Titanic hole in Capellan's defense budget. Oh, God, yeah, with all this shit, yeah.
5L, whereas some houses wanted to enhance existing stockpiles of mechs to bring them in line with evolutions in doctrine or advancing technology.
Still, this is the variation that had the arms
Capellans
right above
did some drugs and made the MAD-5L. In 3067, they stripped the Marauder to its bones and built something I have trouble understanding. Armed with ER large lasers and medium lasers, it is a fire support mech. With Guardian ECM and stealth armor, it can hit, fade, and hide. With triple strength Myomar, it can sprint at close to 90 kph.
Damn.
This mix of tech makes it very expensive, and also a battlefield ninja. Or more than likely, it's an attempt to pander to special operations units in the Make Problems Go Away department
in other words, they pissed off someone. This is the political solution. I see. Here's the gift that we didn't have to give you because you're definitely not about to kill us. That actually makes perfect sense. Also, I hate that in Mechwarrior 5, this is literally my design philosophy. I'm going to move fast. I'm going to hit hard. I'm going to hit from range. But if I get too close, I got all the fuck you lasers. I don't like that my compelling philosophy is apparently a thing. That does not sit well.
Compelling space. The MAD-5S was designed in direct response to the Klan invasion.
Oh.
And notably replaces the autocannon with a Gauss rifle.
Nice.
Because nothing quite solves the problem of weirdos celebrating their fursona/petting zoo totem pole beliefs.
Oh, yeah,
like hypervelocity slugs fired from barely literate Mechwarriors thinking they're the god of war. Yes, that was a mouthful. No, I am not wrong. And that's just scratching the surface. There are command
I want to go back
Marauders.
and see that. I want to see that again. That is literally... Case ammo protects, 16 double heat sinks, 2 medium pulse lasers, 2 ERPPCs, 1 Gauss rifle, GMXL, 14 tons of ferrofibrous. Ooh. Sniping. Makes honor hungry warriors explode. You know, just put some jump jets in this thing and you're literally saying, ha ha ha, fuck you. In our army, these things would be horribly scary. The only thing I would change is I would just like 2 Gauss rifles and maybe no PPCs, because just generally Gauss rifles are amazing, man. Granted, you have to get the ammo for them and weight issues, and this thing is just really damn good at all ranges with lasers as well, but still. Oh, I love laser boat marauders.
And that's just scratching the surface. There are command mech marauders.
Oh.
Targeting computer
The
marauders.
fuck? Seriously? No. What? Targeting computer marauder. Why would you just do it? Why not? Why? Why would you have an entire mech dedicated to targeting? This is something that you only get if you have such a massive drop of mechs at the same time that you can support them with a throwaway mech that's literally just there for additional firepower, but also that is not something that will survive any hit, so it can never get combat anywhere. Sure, maybe it's just an edit texted because it'd be funny. Entirely possible.
There are command mech marauders. Targeting computer marauders.
I don't know more about
Recon marauders. Solaris-built marauders. Burt dispensing marauders with rotary autocannon.
Okay, yeah, I've seen the rotary autocannon. It's weird too. Did they just put a plane in place of the head point? They did. Sure, why not?
There are prototype marauders, one-off marauders, custom marauders, Royal Guard marauders. There are marauders with dual cockpits, jump seats.
Wait, dual cockpit marauders? I guess if you have one person who's driving and the other person's literally just there to shoot the guns, it makes sense, but that's not something how most BattleTech mechs seem to work. Huh.
And probably a fully equipped wet bar. The custom and legendary marauders, on the other hand, are the stuff of fucking nightmares. And speaking of nightmares,
we can see them?
I suppose I can sum up custom builds with a short talk about
a
certain fellow some have elected to call the Bounty Hunter. The Bounty Hunter is, well, let me just say this. Any weapon is unremarkable, unless it is in turn wielded by a legend.
Oh, so it's not just that it's a good mech, it's that whoever's using it is really good at using it. Also, this is going to sound weird, but I've seen a lot of the mercs, a lot of the mercenaries, a lot of the PCMs in BattleTech. I don't think I've ever heard anything about bounty hunters. Is that weird? Huh. Just weird that I never actually heard about that. I guess it would make sense someone would hire a bounty hunter merc that just fucked around.
And this is certainly that kind of story. So we're going to briefly talk about the bounty hunter, at least insofar as it relates to the marauder.
Or is the bounty hunter a name?
As a basic primer, the best way to describe the bounty hunter is that he or she is like the dread pirate Roberts of the Inner Sphere. Not the 21st century criminal/illegal wholesale service provider, but the 20th century narrative character of literature.
Oh.
The bounty hunter is a person or persons who have routinely appeared to kick the shit out of folks at opportune times for the purest motivation
money
known in the Inner Sphere. Cold, hard cash.
Yeah.
The bounty hunter has been a friend and foe for many a veteran warrior.
Also, I really like this design. It is oddly bulky. Not just that it's bigger, but it looks bulbous. Like there's armor plating on top of armor plating on top of a soft foam layer, which is then armored around it. It looks really cool. I have no idea what it would do, but it looks neat. I like it.
serving as a nemesis to such historical characters as Natasha Kerensky.
Oh.
I shouldn't say nemesis. It was more a blood feud in that case.
Oh.
But I'll say this. The bounty hunter is still around today, in some form or another, in some sort of marauder or another.
A Vlar 225, don't know what that is. 3 PPCs, 5 medium lasers, 60 double heat, 6 jet. Oh. So this is fast, and it has a lot of points to fire all the DACA. They're not the most extended or most crazy variations, but 5 lasers is still 5 lasers. 3 PPCs is still 3 PPCs. What it makes up for, it doesn't even need to make up. It just, goddamn. And jump jets get around a lot of 14.5 tons. That's actually a good bit of armor. Double heat sinks for a lot of that. And yeah, it's a laser boat, so it doesn't need to worry about heat. Or not heat. It only needs to worry about heat, not ammo. God damn. That is a cool one.
Cobbled together with Scavenge Clan, Lost Tech, and unknown technologies, his or her Marauder appears when least expected.
What's a
take what is due
though?
Before disappearing entirely.
Ooh.
I could say a lot more about the bounty hunter, but I feel that could be a whole lecture on its own. Let me know.
Wait, seriously? Episode 497, The Bounty Hunter. Holy shit, is he dead yet? No. Turns out he's one of the guys who got the experimental life-extending treatments that were going to be created, but Starling died. But he didn't. You know what? Sure, it's sci-fi. That's not even the weirdest thing we can get.
And that is, by not any stretch, the most notable Marauder one-off or legend in the pilot's seat. Grayson Carlisle heavily favored the design.
It's a good one.
This is no small statement, as he's often seen as the principal architect of warfare in the 31st century.
Really?
He was the commander of the Grey Death Legion, and during the course of his vast and storied career, he managed to steal a Marauder from the Draconis Combine. He put it to good use right up until the...
Sorry, this was a Draconis Combine one? To be fair, it's not loud, so it's probably actually going to work.
The clan invasion, where it saved his damn life before falling on the field of combat. He replaced it with a Victor, but in my estimation, it was a poorer trade.
Yeah, I've heard he died in the Victor. Actually, I heard a lot of people die in Victors. It's a weird choice, actually. 14 tons of Valiant Lamelore? Lamelore? Really? That's what they called it? A Vlar 300. Okay, so a Vlar's just an engine type, I'm guessing. Gauss rifle, 2 ERPPCs, 2 medium pulse lasers, 16 case protect ammo. You know, just Grey Death Legion things. Oh my god. Doesn't have nearly as many guns as the Bounty Hunter, but at the same time, when you get a Gauss rifle, ERPPCs, and medium pulse lasers, you're gonna shoot pretty far. That's so cool.
First Prince Joseph Davion drove one for a time.
Oh.
Which served him well until he tried to eject. He found out that day the Draconis Combine treats its captured enemies as a sharpening block. In this case, quite literally. But he's most remembered for not backing down. And I suppose the Marauder helped him stay true to at least that aim.
Because he couldn't get out if he tried.
In short, anyone who can would have a Marauder. From lowly Mechwarrior to legendary hero, the Marauder became the answer to everything. In any possible tactical scenario that needed a mech to just pummel the absolute dog shit out of an enemy and walk away in style.
Yeah.
The Marauder became the yardstick of military might in the Intersphere for at least 300 years.
Dude.
Because there are some companies...
This is just one of the things I like when you can actually see the bullet damage, how it's getting into the armor, but the armor is still stopped. You can see the shells where they're actually just bored in, but not completely breaking it. And like right here, you can see where it's slightly blowing off the outer chunk of the armor and see the damage actually accumulating, but god, that's so freaking cool. Great art design.
That will keep remixing the common theme and reselling it over and over again and bring you the same product with minor tweaks year after year after year. The Marauder is still a very viable weapons platform.
Up,
and then
standing
again,
higher.
There's some mad lads who will look at the status quo and say, you know what? Fuck it. Let's turn this shit up to 11.
What did they do?
And that's where we get the Marauder II. Or as I like to call it, what happens when nobody in the boardroom is sober during the design phase.
Wait, they're actually sober sometimes? Dude, this is what I was looking for.
Technically, you have to point out that the Marauder II is not exactly a GM product.
Oh?
At least it wasn't initially, but...
Oh, they got it back?
We'll get to that. The story begins with some very interesting people arriving from parts unknown. They would be called the Wolf's Dragoons, and they had a request. They contracted the then virtually unknown Blackwell Industries to more or less take the proven Marauder design.
So the Marauder II was a Wolf Dragoon custom. Oh, dude, it's clan adjacent.
Design and make it bigger and better in every way. And so they did. Which isn't an easy task, doubly so considering the mess the Inner Sphere was in by 3012.
Yep.
But Blackwell knew that such a princely task would set them apart from their competitors.
Definitely make a name
and
for it.
allow them a chance at making a true name for themselves. And they would. For the Marauder II was a goddamn monster.
Yeah.
Despite the limitations of a very low-tech base, the Marauder II is a viable assault platform even by modern standards. And while pricey, probably because of very limited production run, it carries itself well enough to be an interesting selection for any would-be warlord looking to stand apart on the battlefield, where some would consider the Marauder II to be...
Sorry, I just love this art. My only issue with the mech is it's so slow. I have a preference for assault mechs that can actually get up to 70 miles per hour. Or, sorry, 70 kilometers per hour, which is probably about 50 or 40. But it's still so freaking hard hitting. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to get to the enemy ever. But when I do, at any range, they're dead. And it's such a fun mech to use.
Merely an assault mech? I feel that's less than generous. It's a versatile assault platform in a premium grade, and should be seen in the same lens as a fine timepiece or a luxury car. Fancy? Yes. An ostentatious show of wealth?
Very.
Sure. An interesting way to, and yes, I'm borrowing a phrase from an archaic piece of slang here, to quote, dab on the haters. Yes, it is precisely
Judging you for that one.
The Marauder II is 100 tons of angry. It has jump jets. It can clip along at 54
Wait, it has jump jets? Yes, it can fly. 29 heat sinks. Not a typo. There are 29 heat sinks in this thing.
pH. It has 29 heat sinks. It has twin PPCs. It has
tracking
two medium
system.
lasers and an LB-10X autocannon. It has more armor than an Atlas, and the
19 tons,
firepower
yeah.
to beat the brakes off anyone who crosses the horizon. If the Marauder is a duelist, the Marauder II is a nitromethane-powered steamroller. It's not as versatile as its older sibling,
But
it typically answers the challenge well enough to not matter. For there is another ancient proverb. No one argues with smoking craters. Also, noting that the Marauder II is more or less a refit of the Marauder demonstrates how versatile the damn design is.
it works. Hell, I mean, the Mad Cat's just an upgrade of this, basically. Pretty sure they had Marauders, is what the Wolves were basing it on. And yeah, honestly, the gun-wise, 2 ERP PCs, 2 medium lasers, an LBX-10. The guns aren't that impressive by comparison to some of the crazy shit we already saw. But goddamn, 19 tons of armor, and it has jump jets, man. What the hell? When the 100-ton mech can jump.
Not many
That's
mechs
crazy.
can stand to be torn down and rebuilt 25 tons heavier and still be an awesome war machine,
Yup.
let alone an ass-kicking one. So remember when I said it wasn't technically a GM product? Well, let's get into that.
Oh?
GM wasn't exactly happy when another company remixed and later sold their design. But GM is smart.
Oh?
They simply waited until Blackwell needed money and the Wolf's Dragoons needed their engineering expertise. GM swooped in, extended credit, and gained access to Lost Tech in the process of refurbishing Outreach's industrial base. This not only guaranteed a partnership with a fearsome mercenary unit and provided guaranteed customers, it gave them a substantial technological advantage over all of their competition.
And if anything ever goes bad for the company they get it for, they can then just say, hey, we'll buy you and get rid of your debt. Which is actually how a lot of mergers happen. So, yeah. And that was just the next part of the Marauder from TexTalks BattleTech. And, dude, I don't have a problem going on eBay and finding specific models, but I might be looking into Marauder 2s and maybe the Bounty Hunter because it has all the guns. Is it a good choice? Actually, it's not a bad one either. They're not really that expensive. It's like maybe $20 for both of them, if maybe $30 if I go get a good deal. Yeah, honestly, it's not huge, but I'm usually coming from Warhammer where it's like, hey, you want 5 models that you only need to fill a slot and they're not actually good for anything? $60. So technically, it does feel a lot better for that. It's a very low bar to get over that. Games Workshop prices are a thing. Still, though, I just... If the Warhammer wasn't probably my favorite mech, the Marauder would be in that slot in a heartbeat. And it for a while was, but I loved using it so much in Mechwarrior 5 that I absolutely loved Marauder. But just the Warhammer beat it out still. So, yeah, this is just me geeking out the entire time, and I'm loving this. If anyone knows any specific models, though, like if there's a specific Marauder design that you love or you think is really amazing, let me know because I want to know what the hell's going on. I finally reached the point where I actually get when they talk about the spec designs because I get it finally. It literally took almost a year, but I finally reached the point where I got that, and it's fun. I need to go rewatch the original stuff because I actually know what he's talking about now. He talks about all the weapon designs, and I can see just how cool some of these are. Something I'll do in a live stream probably just for the hell of it. So if you haven't already, links below, original video, hit it up. The Black Pants Legion and Tex are awesome. Let them know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.